The Wanderer's Afterword. I would like to express my gratitude for the wanderers who came before me on earth that paved the way. A majority of them are part of the same united group as myself. Without their efforts, my part would have been even more challenging than it already was. I'd also like to express my appreciation for my later 6 subdensity united group for their assistance and guidance in bringing through most of the information in this course and confirming the accuracy of the information that it was my responsibility to add to the course. It was a team effort. I couldn't have done it alone. When bringing through information, my united group can only offer information that doesn't infringe upon third density humans' free will. Since some of the information in this book that's highly useful to humans couldn't have been brought through directly from my united group due to infringement, the infringement workaround method was for me in third density to provide it. This was done by my pre-incarnate plans and spirit guides nudging me in the right direction to experience and relearn the needed information in my third density incarnation. To also avoid infringement, some information wasn't given or explained to me directly by my united group in the form of words or telepathically, but was instead made known to me in various ways so I could understand it and write about it myself, with my united group confirming the accuracy of my information and offering changes and tweaks where necessary to avoid distortions. It was also my responsibility to act as a translator in bringing through the information provided, altering it to verbiage and explaining it in a way that's more understandable to humans, as my united group's verbiage can be very difficult to understand for most humans, and so would offer too many misunderstandings. Then my united group would offer challenges and tweaks to my writing to avoid distortions and misrepresentation, sometimes pointing out even single words in sentences that they felt would be better changed. At times I used their words, when words were provided, and words that are more familiar to humans at the same time. Some examples: logos /star, transition /die, possibilities /timelines. At other times, the / was used to give words that together conveyed the true or closer meaning instead of using one word. This is due to spoken languages being much more limiting than telepathy. I'd be remiss if I didn't reiterate the message that has been conveyed throughout this awareness expanding course. I am not more special or superior than any human on Earth or any being elsewhere in the cosmos. I may be further along the path that leads back to merging with Source, but I am a spark of Source like all other sparks of Source. Like all other beings in third density, I'm not perfect. In fact, it's impossible to be perfect in any density within the cosmos. In practicing appreciation, it is appropriate to respect and hold in high regard all beings who perform major service to others' actions, but it's not wise to raise them or any being above themselves as more superior. Instead of lifting me or any being higher than yourself, it would be beneficial for you to use this course as a guide to lift yourself high by progressing spiritually by doing the inner work that benefits yourself and also aids the collective at the same time, since all beings are connected as one being in reality. Improving oneself benefits the one / the collective at the same time. Bringing through the way of one information that assists you in expanding your awareness and encouraging you to do the inner work for spiritual progression is the reason this awareness expanding course is being offered. I'm not a savior. No being is your savior. Only you can be your own savior. Any being who steps in and does another being's work for them, acting as a savior rather than assisting them, is robbing the being of their opportunities and infringing upon their free will. Since we are all one in beingness, we are all important and have value. Raising me to a savior level or making this course a religion would go against the very teachings in this course. The information in this course is not meant to be turned into a religion or any other limiting practice, as doing such would not be expanding one's awareness. This is an educational course and guide to assist in expanding your awareness that leads toward graduation to the next density. If this course is not used for expanding one's awareness and as a guide to assist spiritual advancement, it is merely interesting information. It's your responsibility to use your discernment to believe the information or not, as it's absolutely fine if you don't believe it, as all is as it should be for each being at certain points in their current focal point of awareness along the journey. Regardless of your stance, you will come to know the validity of some of this information firsthand when you transition and are disincarnate in the inner planes between incarnations. While still incarnate, those who are observant in their world and internally will most likely recognize the many connections and alignments for this course's information that ring true. This awareness expanding course will be viciously attacked by confused humans and paid human tools because the information in it is very important. If it wasn't important, the highly negatively oriented humans wouldn't bother paying and commanding tools to attack it. They would ignore it. Any information that offers a high level of expansion and is highly beneficial is information the highly negatively oriented humans and higher density negatives don't want the majority of humanity to know about. So they use all their typical tactics to mock it, discredit it, attempt to capture and twist it with unofficial sources, and smear the messenger with twisted information and lies in order to get humans to disregard the information. It's nothing personal. They're simply playing their role in trying to persuade the majority to disbelieve the information because it threatens their power and control structure. They know that smearing the messenger is a tactic that works. My advice to readers is to focus on the information in the Awareness Expanding course and to do the inner work and united group meditations rather than focus on me or what is said about me. The information in this course is what is important and beneficial if focused on, not me. For those who may think this information comes too late and therefore doesn't matter much since harvest time is so near, I'll explain why that isn't the case. Even if one isn't ready to graduate to fourth density for this coming harvest time and will be incarnating onto a different third density planet in a different solar system to continue their third density experience sometime after the micronova, or years or decades after the micronova if they survive it, their expansion of awareness from this information, and more importantly the inner work they focus on after absorbing it, carries on with them. When one incarnates into third density, no matter what planet it be on, they go through the third density veil of forgetfulness and don't remember their past incarnations and the lessons they learned therein. However, the lessons and the body of knowledge and wisdom they learned and practiced will not only be in their subconscious mind during their future incarnations, but in the top layer of the subconscious mind that is closer to the conscious mind, having a much greater potential to resurface and be brought to one's conscious attention in their future incarnations because it isn't buried under many layers within the tree of mind. At the start of every third density being's experience, source mind and all the knowledge and wisdom within is located at the very bottom layer of one's subconscious mind. When a being relearns any part of the knowledge and wisdom of Source Mind within an incarnation, those lessons learned and the knowledge and wisdom is then brought to the top layer of the subconscious mind to be more accessible to the conscious mind in future incarnations. I'll reiterate the dream comparison used in this course to further explain. Think of all the incarnations a being has had since deciding to seemingly separate from Source as a very long dream. One usually remembers the end of the dream before waking up, and the beginning of the dream is long forgotten. The long dream is all of one's incarnations, and the last incarnations, particularly the very last incarnation, is more likely to be remembered than what happened in the beginning or middle of the long dream, which makes what you learn and the inner work that is done in this incarnation in the next approximately 8 years or longer matters greatly, because the potential is high that it'll be remembered by some means and brought to one's conscious mind during their next incarnation on that distant third density planet. This drastically increases a being's chances of graduating to the fourth density at the completion of the first major cycle on that new planet, if they so desire, instead of experiencing the whole grand cycle in the third density experience again. Therefore, a human being thinking the following isn't intelligent. Well, I pretty much wasted the last such and such decades of this incarnation not working towards spiritual progression, so I might as well throw the remaining decade down the toilet as well. Dreams of the start at the finish line don't make much sense to me. In fact, this mentality, if acted out, would be wasting a huge opportunity, because the current raised vibrations as Earth moves closer to full fourth density vibration offers the potential of advancement that is far above the potential of progression when one incarnates on that distant third density planet in the beginning of the third density experience, where the vibrations are much lower and so is lacking a great deal of galvanization for spiritual advancement. Even if a human only had 1 year on Earth after absorbing this awareness expanding course and doing the inner work, huge potential leaps in consciousness could be made that would dwarf what is offered in the first major cycle experienced on that distant third density planet. If humans don't perform the United Group meditations, there is a high probability the conditions on Earth won't improve much in the short period of time before harvest time, but that doesn't mean that you personally can advance greatly. Instead of letting the conditions on Earth, the majority, or the negatively oriented minority hold you back, understand that the power to advance is in your hands, as it always is regardless of the planetary situation. No one can hold back your spiritual progression but you. It has been my honor and joy to bring forward the knowledge and wisdom in this awareness expanding course for you, whomever you may be on planet Earth or off planet. This awareness expanding course is the only non-fiction book that I will write. I'll continue to utilize my particular skills and abilities to write fictional books filled with non-fiction material and wisdom to further my service to others' actions, a book genre called Truth in Fiction. Since I am aware enough of my pre-incarnate plans, know that at any time before the micronova, if I transition/die, am suicided, am disappeared, am seriously wounded, or come down with some illness such as cancer, no matter how convincing it may appear that it was an accident, natural, or whatever, it was due to the orders of highly negatively oriented humans that trickled on down to the human tool or tools who performed their bidding. If any of these things happen to me, It will further validate that the information in this course is very important and extremely beneficial for one to read and share with others. I have already experienced numerous adverse actions by their human tools because the highly negatively oriented humans have not been so happy with me since publishing my first truth in fiction book in 2020 that exposed their mentality, agendas, and the broken system they've engineered. The book was heavily shadow banned and countless acts of online manipulation were used to hide its existence. They are now even less happy with me since bringing forward this awareness expanding course, and fourth density negatives and a fifth density negative being, knowing the probabilities of the future and the potentially large amount of positive polarity this book could generate, targeted me heavily in an attempt to stop me from completing this book. You're reading this, so it goes without saying they were not successful. To all beings doing their part of service to others' actions, don't let a minor thing like the fear of transitioning stop you from doing what you incarnated to do, your goals or mission. You incarnated to do it, so not doing it would be somewhat of a wasted incarnation, most especially for wanderers. Negative-based programming and the social conditioning it shapes may attempt to convince you that you are not important and are simply ego-driven in your attempts to aid a large group or the entire planet. Everyone is important and everyone has unique skills and abilities to offer the whole. You incarnated on this planet at this high vibratory time to progress spiritually and offer service to others' actions that assist yourself and others in their advancement. So not doing your service would be a missed opportunity for you and others. To transition is to merely move on to the next adventure. It is nothing to fear and should produce no roadblocks in your plans. In order to more fully absorb the information in this course, it is most beneficial to read this book at least twice. After reading this awareness expanding course, you can do your part in not only doing the inner work and united meditations, but also sharing this course with others. The highly negatively oriented humans and negative higher density beings will do all in their power to stop the spread of information that threatens their power and control over the majority, so your assistance is greatly needed. This is a team effort. The act of sharing this course with others is a service to others act in itself, so the sharer gains positive polarity. Positively oriented beings learn information and share it with others because they care for others and may also know that the advancement of others also advances themselves as the vibration is raised for all of humanity. Each individual that's lifted raises the collective in part. This book is presented in video format for free in order to spread its benefits and aid to as much of the collective as possible. If I had only published this book, it would have been shadow banned like my first book and would most likely not have spread far and so not benefited many humans. The book will be shadow banned anyway, but it will not have a huge adverse impact because many humans will come to know about it through the free videos. I apologize for the poor audio quality and narration. Since I have no money, I only had access to a cheap microphone. The only area where I could reside to make these recordings has a dry climate that affected my throat. This would have been fine, but the negative fifth density being who attempted to stop me from bringing through this information was able to charge the dry throat and make it an issue and crack my voice often and make me stumble on words and flow while recording. I tried to re-record subjects to make them sound as professional as possible, but the continued attacks would cause the same problems. So instead of forever recording subjects over and over again, I chose to release it and get this essential information out as soon as possible on video. This awareness expanding course is better absorbed when read in book form because one can easily stop and ruminate and meditate on topics as they read. Since this course is best absorbed at least twice to comprehend it more fully, buying the book would be a great way to absorb it the second time around, or first time around more preferably. As already stated, the book contains two more subjects, 104.2 and 104.3, and some added material in the already given subjects. The book for this awareness expanding course, which has the same title, was published and made available through online booksellers before these videos were released. The book is available in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. It is not available in audiobook because of the recording problems mentioned. Although reading the book is a far better way to absorb the material anyway. By simply reading this course, a human expands their awareness. If the human practices the knowledge and wisdom presented in this course and does the inner work, they may spiritually progress majorly. It is recommended to read the book at least 2 times, as not all the material in it will be adequately absorbed in one reading. Having the book also provides a quick reference to material one wishes to revisit. Purchasing the book is also a way of showing your appreciation for my aiding services and makes it possible for me to get by in this broken monetary system we live in and write more books to continue aiding and providing service to others' acts. Given the magnitude and importance of the material covered in this course, I don't see why anyone wouldn't want to own the book anyway. This course has been meticulously planned out, organized, and presented in a most effective and impactful manner, so please share it rather than attempting to teach it yourself. Such would be a huge disservice to the one attempting to learn. If after sharing the course the individual still doesn't understand something in it after they have finished the whole course and asks you for your assistance, you may then offer understanding if you truly feel you have grasped the concept that is to be explained. Journey on, my fellow sparks. We are all one.